Merry Christmas, my fellow godlies and Warframe enthusiasts around the world. I am Vance from Warframe God Builds, and I've got such a great gift to give you guys. You've been requesting it for a while, and so I really think this is the best thing that I could give you on Christmas, because what am I going to do? Give you another God build? I mean, no. I got to give you something special. And since it's been requested for a long time, I'm going to rename this shit. I'm not going to be like other content creators for Warframe and call it Fasion Frame. No. We need something more snazzy. We need something that's going to pop. Alright, so every time you go into your arsenal and you customize your appearance, we're now going to rename that shit Space Barbie. That's right, Space Barbie. Yeah, it's meant to sound corny, alright? But instead of giving you the standard tutorial of how to make your frames look the best that they can, I'm not gonna do that. I mean, everybody else and their grandma is doing that right now, and I'm just not them. I'm different, but you ought to know that by now. If you're a frequent viewer of my page or a subscriber, you ought to know that I'm very different from everybody else out there who puts out videos very remotely close to Warframe. So instead, what I'm going to do is explain to you in more depth what I've explained to you in the past. A lot of you probably remember the video that I did explaining what my intro was about. I've thrown around the word the Exidium universe a while now. Like, it's been a while. I've been throwing it out for a while. I mean, my entire third YouTube page was a plan to build a viewer base that would actually give a shit about the Exidium universe. Like, I needed to establish a following, that way I could transition, I could groom all of my audience into that transition into the Exidium universe. Because the funny thing about Warframe is, when I first started, I only got into Warframe because the Excalibur looked exactly like a character I was designing concept art for at the time. Like, really, I was thinking about a very specific character and how they looked very specifically. So when I see an Excalibur, I'm like, wow, Excalibur really looks like the character that I'm trying to design. I got in my head this mental image of like a white version of Snake Eyes from G.I. Joe, because that's how I wanted the character to look, right? And then when I got into Warframe and started playing it, I realized that there were other Warframes that looked like other Exidium characters. So instead of giving you like a tutorial of how to make your Warframes look the best that they can be, I'm going to describe to you why my Warframes look the way that they do. And it's because they represent actual Exidium characters. And Exidium is a universe that I've been working on for the better part of a decade. I've been writing for it, I've been illustrating for it, and I plan to turn my entire YouTube page into the Exidium storyline. Now, how I'm going to do that is up in the air right now. It's something that I'm working with my team trying to, build off of. But I will say that I've got a script wrote out for it, and I did a trilogy for it way back in the day. And then my computer crashed, and I lost all that content, and so I have to recite it from my memory, and it's quite the mess. However, a lot of the Warframes that I have in loadouts, if you pay attention to my loadouts, which I'm sure some of you do, you'll notice that they're all specific names. Well, for me personally, I don't feel it like, to me, in my own imagination, I don't imagine myself as playing that particular Warframe. When I switch Warframes, when I go from my Excalibur to my Rhino, in my head, they're different people. They're totally different people. And all my gameplay reflects the lives that they live inside of the Exidium universe. So one could say that I'm role-playing. I'm not role-playing with other people, I'm just kind of like imagining a world for myself. I mean, I'm a human sponge when it comes to things like this. I see something and it inspires me. And that's what I want to do with the Exidium universe, is I want to entertain the shit out of you as my viewers. But I also want to inspire up-and-coming writers and illustrators the very same way that I was inspired growing up with, great stuff like Dragon Ball Z, Berserk, Guyver, and then popular movies like Donnie Darko, Signs, The Fourth Kind, I'm influenced by a lot of science fiction things, and so I'd like to put all those storylines together, or aspects of them, throw them into a blender, and then, you know, kind of roll with that. I've created this own universe that's it takes away elements from a lot of things that you've seen in popular media. And a lot of these characters, I mean, there's hundreds of characters. It's not just the ones that I have in loadouts. The ones that I have in loadouts are actually a part of only one storyline, which is a spin-off, apart from the actual trilogy, because the trilogy really kicks off the entire universe. And if my subscribers who were tuned into my Twitch page at the time remember correctly, I kind of did like an outline for a Vauban-inspired art, and it's specifically because this character didn't have concept art at the time. So I was trying to, you know, take some inspiration from Vauban and make it my own. You know, characters like this one, they all have concept art, and then other characters such as this one, they don't have concept art. And I would love to do like Warframe inspired art, and then do like Wikipedia entries at the end of the video, sort of like what I'm already doing with the Xenoverse God builds, the Dragon Ball Xenoverse God builds. But it would just consume so much time, and like I said, I want to transition off into my own like motion comic and showcase everything that I've been building on for the better part of a decade. And you know, like I said, I want to entertain the shit out of my fan base and inspire the up and coming generation to, you know, build storylines and concept arts, the likes of which I have done growing up. You know, it's all about the youth. It's all about the next generation. It's all about handing down the torch. It's all about making things the best that they can be. And so, when I build these appearances, I'm not specifically shooting for, you know, things that, you know, colors that accent each other well or contrast each other well, because I've already done that with concept art, or I've already imagined that, and to go into that level of depth, I would have to like teach you all about art, and I've been doing art since I was like 2 years old. And so when I go into their appearance and I play Space Barbie, I'm already building for a specific somebody. I've already got them established, and I've already got a mental image of how they're gonna look. So I encourage people to do the same thing. I encourage them to think more about it, think outside the box, think about these characters, you know, try to represent these characters as an element outside of Warframe, because people have a nasty habit of telling you, dude, it's just a game. Well, it's not just a game, because in the eyes of a gamer, a video game is a fantasy reality we live in because the real world sucks. This is our only form of retreat. This is our sanctuary. This is where we get to relieve stress. This is where we get to have fun. This is where we get to avoid the issues of real life society. You know, I would have loved to have made a machinima, but the issue with that is the fact that Digital Extremes kind of only limits me to remote observers. But even with that, I think, you know, longtime fans of my page have realized I've been able to do a lot with that. By no means is it anything compared to the Halo Forge camera, but I've still been able to put together some decent storylines with the trailers, because the trailers that I've done, they weren't, you know, a lot of people ask, well, why do I even do them? Two reasons. A is to show my fan base which build I'm going to do next, and B is to showcase my talent as a video editor, a director, you know, somebody who can take a trailer that already exists and repurpose it, you know, do a parody of it, and show you that I can do a storyline. It's been showing Digital Extremes, you know, I can, you know, make a machinima out of their game, like a weekly episodic, like movie or TV series. I think that's the message that we need to set moving forward in 2017, because I've done a lot of shitting on Digital Extremes for their bad decisions, and I never meant to make it seem like I'm totally against them, because I'm not. I want them to succeed, I want them to do good, and the reason why I've been bitching and complaining is because I've literally seen better from Digital Extremes. I have seen them do so much better, and I'm more like, I feel as though I'm like a parent, you know, looking down at a child I help, you know, develop. And then you see your child getting into drugs or whatever, and then you get really disappointed and you get really fucking mad. And that's all that's going on in my head, guys, is I'm just upset with the decisions that are being made. Does that mean that I love my child any less? No. I helped make Warframe everything that it was. I supported it. I pumped money into it. I've done videos on it, and my entire page has been about helping all the new players get to my level. So people think that, you know, I'm this huge, arrogant, selfish asshole, and it's fucked up. It's fucked up because all I'm trying to do is inspire a generation after me. So, I did not mean to ramble on. Again, this is all about appearances, but there's so much more than appearance, you know. Life is what you make of it. And, you know, as they say, YOLO, you only live once. So, YOLO swag, zero fucks. See you in 2017, guys. Have a Merry Christmas. If you like this video, please, well, you can't rate it anymore, but you could thumbs up, like that shit, comment, share, subscribe, do all that good stuff. And until next time, this has been Vance signing off. Merry Christmas. Peace out, bitches.